I'm very happy to introduce Shalom World, a new Catholic, family-oriented Catholic TV that will be 24/7 English-speaking television channel. I hope that through this media we will be able to continue to spread the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world, a world that needs Shalom, that needs the peace that comes from the King of Peace, Jesus Christ. I congratulate all those who participate in supporting this new media, and that it may continue to reach millions and millions of people all over the world where we need the light of Christ.
Shalom World, God's own channel.
Just when you have given in, overtaken by your sin, you just need to know you are beloved child of God. Overwhelmed and overcome, it's not too late, sin has not won. You just need to know you are beloved child of God.
Hi, I'm Bray and I'm from Canada. My reversion to the faith was really brought on by God using a struggle in my own life to lead me to a deeper encounter with Him, to lead me to recognize that I cannot overcome this struggle on my own, but that I needed to rely on Him. And I grew up in a very devout Catholic family, and for us, our faith was really about religion and church and discipline. And that's what we did really well in our household. My mother was the spiritual leader of our family, as my father wasn't Catholic, he wasn't Christian. I'm not sure he even really believed in God at the time. And discipline in our faith was what was important to us. We memorized some Bible verses and some prayers. We went to Mass every Sunday. We were even involved in youth group and altar serving and music ministry. But that was really what the extent of our faith was. Our relationship with God was all about discipline. We were missing that faith element. And I'd say for myself and probably my family, is that we didn't really know who God was. We didn't have a real relationship with Him. But I remember this one particular night, our church, in hindsight, looking back, was going through a little bit of a revival or a renewal. And there was this event going on at our church, a healing service that my mom said that we were all going to go to. And I had no idea what it was or what to expect. And so as I walked into this church basement, I was really hesitant and I was really skeptical. I'm looking around the room with people that are singing songs and praise and worship, and their hands are raised in the air. And people are praying together, and this was unfamiliar to me. I didn't quite know what to think. I wasn't even sure if God was real. Up until that point in my life, God was really just kind of like homework to me. It was just something that I needed to check off my to-do list to be done. And so as I was sitting there in a chair just looking around this room, I felt God really intervene in my life for the first time in a magnificent way. And I said to myself, I'm here right now, so I might as well make the most of this time. And so I got up from my seat and I got into a line of people that were praying together. When I got to the front of that line, they said, Chris, what do you want prayers for? And up until that point in my life, I had struggled with a learning disability. And it was really difficult for me to read and to write and to learn new concepts, and I hated school. I felt like every day I'd come home crying out of frustration. I was angry that I had to work 10 times harder than everybody else. I was angry and upset and frustrated that I couldn't overcome this obstacle on my own. And so when they asked me that question, they said, Chris, what do you want prayers for? I said, I want to be healed of this learning disability. And so I closed my eyes and I bowed my head and we began to pray together. And for the first time in my life, I had a real, tangible relationship with God. He wasn't this distant thing billions of light years away that created me and then forgot about me, but He was real and He was present and He was true like I had never known Him before. And though I still struggled with my learning disability, I had something that I didn't have before. I had a relationship with God. I was trying to overcome this obstacle and this struggle in my life with my own strength. I was struggling to find what my true identity was, who I was, why I would have even been created, why I was here. And it wasn't until I came to encounter the love that God has for me that I found out that I'm a child of God, that He created me for a purpose. And it was coming to that acknowledgement that changed the course of my life. It was through this music that God drew me into relationship with Him. And I find it fascinating, the providence of God, and really the irony that God could use me in all of my inadequacies to be able to further His plan. I remember in grade 3 was the very first year that I had music. And my very first music test, I completely failed. I totally failed. And not only that, but I got 0. I didn't even get one question right on my music test. And I think back in that moment, I think, wow, just how amazing it is that God could choose to use somebody like me and say, hey, I have a bigger plan for you, that though you have brokenness and inadequacies, I'm going to use that and I'm going to create something beautiful from it. And that's really what happens when we surrender our life to God, when we hand over our brokenness, we come to Him in pieces. He takes those pieces and He builds this beautiful mosaic, more spectacular than anything that we could have ever imagined for ourselves. And every time that I think of what God has done in my own life, all of these different circumstances and these obstacles and these struggles, I am amazed and in awe of the greatness of God. And through the ability to come before God and serve Him and minister to the church, to be able to lead people in worship, it has been this strengthening in my own faith. Seeing other people's faith come alive because of songs of praise to God is encouraging to me in my own faith. And I am forever changed because of God's intervening grace in my life, and I'll be forever thankful.
Jesus said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few." The church needs many more young men and women to respond to God's call. I'm Father Michael Sparrow from the Bellarmine Jesuit Retreat House, one of the priests highlighted on Vocari, Shalom World's weekly television show that highlights the diversity of men and women who have responded to God's call to priesthood and religious life. We count on your prayers and your generous gifts to help us continue to produce Vocari and a wide variety of other television inspirational shows seen around the globe for the glory of God. No gift is too small, no gift is too large. Support Shalom World TV, and the next time you tune in, you'll be glad you did.